It's time to meet the EA Sports FIFA Team of the Year, as chosen by millions of football fans across the globe. They've been voting, and this is their ultimate 11, with Donnarumma in goal, back four of Hakimi, Ruben Dias, Marquinhos and Joao Cancelo, an all Premier League midfield of De Bruyne, Jorginho and Conte, and then Messi, Lewandowski and Mbappe make up that forward line. Jamie, what do you think?
Well, it's a little bit short of Liverpool players, I'd say. That'd be the first thing that stands out. But listen, good representation of the Premier League in there. It's I've got a lot of those players in my team, but yeah, I mean, listen, it's a great team, and if you think of those players involved, and that there's probably a lot of other players you could put in, but yeah, top team.
I don't think they'd lose too many games with it, Gary.
No, and you can see unbelievable representation from obviously the clubs that have done brilliantly well: City, Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain have had obviously good periods in the last 12 months, so Italy. So it always obviously is biased towards that. And then there is always the ones like Messi who sort of historically just get picked. He's had a good year, but he's not had his best year. But there are players it's difficult to break into. And I say I'm not a Liverpool fan, as we know, but for Salah not to be in there is bizarre.
All right, we'll come to that, because these two are well-versed at picking their teams of the year. We asked them to do it a lot on Monday Night Football. And these are the ones that they have both agreed on. And, yep, Gary, you've gone with Mo Salah. Only two, though, from the EA team, Donnarumma and Mbappe up front. Interesting. But you both agree on the goalkeeper, Jamie?
Yeah, I think we both will have looked at what happened in the summer. And Donnarumma I think he played the tournament in the end. You think how pivotal he was for Italy winning that tournament, certainly in the penalty shootout as well. And there's obviously a good representation from Italy. And that happens every year. You know, the team who dominate the tournament or win a tournament normally dominate teams like these. So that's one of the reasons why we've gone for those players.
Tell us about your left back.
Outstanding. In the tournament, obviously, until he got that injury. I think he was an absolute sensation, and like I say, he was in the team picked by the fans as well. So for me, the Italian representation, I've always loved Italian defences ever since playing against Juventus back in sort of the mid-90s, even the Milan team of Baresi and Costa Curta. So for me, I think Chiellini, Spinazzola, the goalkeeper, Donnarumma, and I've actually gone for Bonucci. I know that Carragher hasn't, but I've gone for Bonucci. I think them two in that tournament were absolutely out of this world.
The one thing on the left back, Spinazzola, that took me back to being a kid. When you watch a tournament and there's a player you don't know that too much about, and you think, wow, who's this player? It doesn't happen that much now, because we know so much about so many teams and players. We get the stats on everyone. We watch the Champions League, players in that, and not normally someone doesn't go quite as much under the radar and then just lights up a tournament the way Spinazzola did. So it took me back to being a kid, and obviously he's in that team for obviously the performances in the summer that's been outstanding.
So basically, you didn't have a clue who he was until the summer.
Well, he was playing for Roma. He was obviously doing okay, but it wasn't a team you see in the Champions League, and it's not often that we see those stories now.
All right, let's have a look at Gary's team first then. Jamie, you might want to see if you can pick one or two holes in this. Joao Cancelo, he's gone for it right back.
Yeah,
Kimmich in midfield.
I love Cancelo. I think he's brilliant. I sort of agree with him on Bonucci. I've just gone for someone else, but you could easily have put Bonucci in there. The big thing that stands out for me is he's obsessed with holding midfield players, isn't he? I mean, he's picked 3 holding midfield players.
This is a mental scar from his management.
Some managers are obsessed with number 10s. He's obsessed with number 6s or number 4s.
I don't see.
I mean, does it go back to? I don't know what it is. Is it protection to your back 4? You always want someone in that position.
I don't see Jorginho and Verratti as the classic holding midfield players. I see them as people who control the midfield.
So are they then box-to-box players?
No, they're not box-to-box players, but they pass the ball, they receive the ball, they control the game, they feed the front players, they connect the back to the front. I think Jorginho's had an outstanding season. I think Verratti, when you watch him, he mesmerises me, Verratti, of his balance and his ability to hold the ball in tight situations, and sometimes in risky situations where you think he's going to get caught, he's going to get dispossessed, and yet he very rarely does, and he's an exceptional player.
What's Kimmich's role then?
Kimmich is just giving that a little bit of, I mean, he's a brilliant
security
player. He's a brilliant player, and what I'm looking for, to be fair, I did think about putting Trent Alexander-Arnold right back and Kimmich in that right-hand side, just so they could dovetail down that side with Salah, because obviously Trent and Salah have got an unbelievable relationship. But I just thought Joao Cancelo has had an exceptional. He was picked by the fans as well, so they just supported my selection.
On your forward line, you leave out Messi, you leave out Lewandowski, and you go.
So he leaves
Haaland.
out the best player who was voted. You said voted by the fans, so Lewandowski was voted the best player, wasn't he?
Yeah, look, look, it's more of a personal preference, to be honest with you. look, you can't not like Lewandowski, but I played against him quite a bit when I was with England as a coach, I think, and he was centre forward, and he just didn't really do a lot against us for Poland. That, you might not say, I'm not saying he never scored, but I just thought, is he as good as, you know, the top strikers in the world like Suarez at the time or others? I never took to him as much when I was coaching against him for England with Poland.
What year were you coaching England?
It was 2012 to...
So it's 2022 now?
16. No, I've watched him since. And
so you're judging him on that?
No, it's just purely when I've seen him live. Look, he's a brilliant player. Sometimes you just don't have that fancy for a player as you much... when I watch Haaland, he feels to me that's everything I would want to see in a centre-forward. Bustling, aggressive, goals, shoves people out of the way. Lewandowski's fantastic. I think he's more intelligent maybe than Haaland. But for me, I just couldn't not have Haaland in. 50 goals in 50 Bundesliga games. I think he's one of the quickest to ever reach that target.
Just remember that one.
Who's that?
Gary recycling stats. We know he's in trouble. So we can only assume that Lewandowski's made it in Jamie's team. Let's have a look at that. By comparison, yes, he's there. But you leave out Jorginho after an extraordinary year.
Embarrassing.
He's had a brilliant year in terms of his teams. I don't necessarily think Jorginho was instrumental in Chelsea winning the Champions League. He's done really well. I think he's a good player. Same with Italy. I'd certainly have Verratti over Jorginho any day of the week in the Italian team. I'd have Kante ahead of Jorginho in the Chelsea team. So yeah, he's been involved in teams who've won things and he's played his part, no doubt. But I've never been sort of carried away with this talk of him winning the Ballon d'Or, and I certainly wouldn't have him in that team.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, best right back in the world for you.
When I say right back, it's just unique. You're just watching him play, and he's. I mean, this guy knows right back better than anyone. I know he's probably put on a face there at the camera.
No. At all.
I thought it might just be a normal face.
I was going to put him in. It was him or Cancelo, and I just went for Cancelo.
I just think Trent Alexander-Arnold has a bigger influence on his team, which is Liverpool, than any other right back or possibly full back in the world, and it's unique. We've never quite really seen any other fullback play like that and have such an influence, certainly creativity. And Cancelo has been fantastic, left back or right back. But actually, in the biggest game for Manchester City this season, he didn't start the Champions League final. So Pep knows better than us, doesn't he?
Another stat.
The producer has just come in there and told him that.
Changing of the guard then, perhaps, because we're seeing no Ronaldo and we're not seeing Lionel Messi either.
No Messi. I mean, we had that debate start of the season, didn't we? Ronaldo or Messi? I was the Messi man. He was Ronaldo. But there's no place in either team for them. And unfortunately, even though he's No, he's not happy with me at all.
Why?
I had a little pop at Ronaldo early in the season. Didn't think it was a great signing for United. And then I said the example of Messi. I didn't think Messi's a great signing for PSG. And I've always really,
It was on Monday Night Football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Monday Night Football. And I got a private message on Instagram.
From the man himself?
From the man himself. I will not be showing private messages, but he basically called me a donkey. So
he watches his football then, you know?
He watches Monday Night Football, so hopefully he's watching Friday Night Football as well, because Lionel, I absolutely love you. The greatest player of all time, and compared to you, I was a donkey. You know, I accept that, but you're not getting this team, you haven't played well enough, even if you did win the Copa America in the summer. It's not enough to leave my man, Mo Salah, out the team.
Messi could be a good pundit.
Go on then, let's finish it with a word on Mo Salah, who you both agreed on.
To be honest with you, I saw something this morning, or maybe yesterday on social media, there was an article written by a journalist about what has global football, FIFA, these types of sort of what would be awards. What have they got against Mo Salah? I remember doing some interviews a few years ago when Mo Salah turned up. I think he was voted second best player in the world. I don't know when that was. You remember that now? It was 2 or 3 years ago.
He didn't stop for the interview, did he?
He didn't stop for the interview, which I was a little bit sore about. I said, Mo, you might not be here again. You should stop, really. But it does feel like he is disrespected globally when it comes to these types of awards. And I have to say, look, Mo Salah's story, when he first came to Liverpool, I thought, yeah, all right, runs in behind.
This was his first game for Liverpool, wasn't it?
Runs in behind. And then you think, after a bit, he does well, and you think, well, that won't last. And then you think, what a season he's just had. Well, he'll not repeat that. Then the next season, you'll think, well, it's a 2-year one. And it gets to the point whereby what he's done over a period of 3-4 years, not just individually, but collectively with Liverpool, taking them to the title with all the other players, obviously, Champions League success, And the goals he's scoring, what he's doing, in actually what he's proven now with the English team's results in Europe in the last 2 or 3 years to be the best league in the world at the moment for the last 2 or 3 years. I cannot believe that he's not in teams winning the awards, because he is the best player in our league. And there is something missing. And like I say, I wouldn't be here defending a Liverpool player if I didn't need to. He should be at the very top. He's not even in the team.
No,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I think certainly we thought Messi got the Ballon d'Or this year, but I don't see him or Ronaldo really in the running for that next season. I just think that they won't come back again in terms of winning that trophy. And I think it's now the chance for Lewandowski, very unlucky not to win it. Maybe Mo Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Mbappe, Haaland coming. I just think
he was in all 3 teams. Yeah, Mbappe.
Well, it's the new generation of players to win that award that they all want to win. That's the absolute ultimate for those players. And I think Mo Salah, if he continues the way he started the season into the second half of the season, carries it on, obviously, I think he's got a great chance. But that's going to be a real fight now and a lot more interest in that trophy between those 4 or 5 players I've just mentioned, possibly for the next 3 or 4 years.
He's got to be in that team there.
Yeah, but they put Messi. I sometimes think certain players just go in because of who they are. So Ronaldo goes in, or Messi. Listen, they've been amazing.
It's voted for by the people.
I know, but that's what you have Messi fans, Ronaldo fans, they're mad, aren't they? You know, the Messi fans think Ronaldo's absolutely awful, and vice versa. There's always this competition between the two of them. They go in, and they're not even in the right formation. You've just got 4 forwards in the team just to get certain names in.
The debates will continue, no doubt. You've seen the FIFA team, the ultimate team. You've seen Gary's and Jamie's team. Let us know what you think.